Meghan Markle breaks her agreement with King Charles and Buckingham Palace to leak to her friends at People magazine less than a week after that promised meeting with Charles and Queen Camilla. He's making the point that this leak is Meghan trying to make herself the victim in all of this somehow.
Meghan Markle felt humiliated on Prince Harry's most recent UK trip, and that the trip turned into a nightmare, forcing Markle and her children to return home to California earlier than they had hoped.
A private royal meeting was expected to stay behind closed doors, but within days, new details were already making headlines. Fresh reports have sparked debate after information about Prince Harry's recent visit with King Charles and Queen Camilla appeared in People magazine. That has led some royal commentators to question whether an understanding about keeping the visit private was respected.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had agreed with the palace, which was that there was to be no briefing around this visit to try and shape the narrative in favour of one party. But she can't help herself, can she? So this is the cover report where People says the Duchess planned to be by her husband's side.
At the same time, Prince Harry has already returned to the United States without any reported travel problems. His journey has reignited the long-running discussion about security arrangements, with some commentators arguing that his latest visit showed he was able to travel between the UK and California without the major issues that have often been highlighted publicly.
Want to use the visit in order to stop having to pay, because here's the thing, they're in financial dire straits, and we know that their annual security bill, Rafe, is $3 million a year. They can't afford to keep paying it. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why they want to force the British government to give it so they can stop.
Another detail that caught attention was Meghan Markle's absence from the Time 100 event, where Prince Harry attended alone. That decision immediately fueled speculation. Some royal commentators suggested she deliberately stayed away during a difficult week for Harry, while others argued there could have been completely different reasons behind the decision. Much of the discussion then shifted to Harry's appearance at the event itself. Some critics pointed out that he appeared relaxed around photographers, something they believe contrasts with his long-standing criticism of intrusive media coverage. Others argued there is an important difference between organised press events and unwanted paparazzi attention, showing just how divided public opinion remains.
That Meghan Markle didn't attend the Time 100 event with Harry, certainly when the chips are down, she don't want to be seen with her Duke. Ms. Pepper is no longer interested in the salt shaker, if you understand what I mean.
Soon after, attention turned back to the People magazine cover story, which focused heavily on Harry's UK visit, his meeting with King Charles, and the challenges surrounding the trip. That report quickly became part of a much larger debate because People magazine has often been viewed by royal watchers as a publication that receives information from sources close to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. According to the magazine, Meghan preferred Harry to take the lead whenever it came to dealing with the royal family and was disappointed she could not be beside him throughout the visit. The report also described the week as emotionally difficult for the couple. Royal commentators quickly questioned where that information came from. While no official confirmation has been provided, some believe the details likely originated from people close to Harry and Meghan or individuals familiar with their communications. Because of that, critics argued the reporting appeared inconsistent with claims that there would be no effort from either side to publicly shape the narrative surrounding the meeting. That criticism only grew after People reported that Meghan had originally planned to join Harry for several appearances before security concerns reportedly changed those plans.
That Meghan Markle wanted it to be known to the world that the choreography of this meeting was nothing to do with her. Look at the headline. Meghan Markle always lets Prince Harry lead when it comes to the royal family. There's a lot of sadness over how the week unfolded and that she wasn't able to be by his side throughout the visit. A source tells People. Well, again, you know it matters to me that I'm open about where these sources come from, and certainly in the case of People magazine, it is either directly from Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, directly from one of their friends, or directly from their communications team, at the moment the hapless Liam Maguire.
However, some royal commentators strongly disputed that explanation, arguing there had been no significant change in Harry's existing security arrangements during the visit. Whether that interpretation is correct remains a matter of debate, but it added another layer to an already complicated story. The magazine also reported that Meghan would have found the public disagreements surrounding Harry's visit upsetting, and that the couple viewed the situation as stressful behind the scenes. Additional unnamed sources claimed she remained fully supportive while allowing Harry to handle matters involving his family himself. Critics, however, questioned whether the article presented only one side of the story. Some argued the coverage appeared unusually sympathetic toward the Sussexes and focused more on explaining their position than examining competing viewpoints. Another claim in the report stated that Harry initially planned to return to Britain alone for charity events, before Meghan and their children were expected to travel later for a private family reunion. Sources quoted by the publication also suggested ongoing uncertainty surrounding security arrangements continued to complicate planning whenever Harry visited the UK.
Behind the scenes, the drama surrounding the visit was quite stressful, says a source close to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, so we're meant to feel sorry for them here. Eventually, it was decided that Prince Harry would return to the UK solo for the week of charity events, with Meghan and the children returning to England later in the week for the reunion. For those close to Harry, the public wrangling was as frustrating as it was familiar. This is not the first time. It has not been plain sailing with correspondence or trying to make things work, tells a well-placed source. It all comes back to security. If that was resolved, there would be so much more certainty every time he comes or they come. Can I just give Harry and Meghan a newsflash? It's been resolved a long time ago. There is nothing to resolve.
That point immediately became another source of disagreement. Some royal commentators argued that Harry's security arrangements have already been legally settled, and that additional protection would only be provided if intelligence identified a specific threat. From that perspective, they believe the continuing public debate is no longer about changing security, but about revisiting decisions that have already been made. Others disagree and maintain Harry's concerns remain genuine. Attention also returned to Meghan's absence from the launch event marking the countdown to the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham. Reports suggested she had once been expected to attend alongside Harry before plans changed. That decision prompted fresh speculation. Some commentators believed she intentionally stayed away following Harry's recent legal setback, arguing she preferred not to appear publicly beside him during a particularly difficult week. Others caution there is no confirmed evidence explaining why she did not attend, meaning the true reason remains unknown.
And her husband lost big in court. No one wants to be seen on the arm of a loser. I think that this trip was a reality check. Harry has spent years insisting he can be half in and half out of the monarchy, and the British public just reminded him that isn't how it works, and if you look at the media that was generated while he was there, for the most part, he was rejected. And the nightmare wasn't just the trip. It was discovering that the privilege of royalty, doesn't automatically survive after you quit your job.
People magazine also revisited Harry's long-running legal efforts regarding police protection in the United Kingdom, noting that his publicly funded security changed after he and Meghan stepped back from royal duties and relocated to California in 2020. The publication further reported that discussions surrounding aspects of his security arrangements remain ongoing. Even so, critics argued that nothing in the overall situation appeared materially different from previous visits. Harry's latest trip has therefore reopened several familiar debates all at once: security, media strategy, palace relations, and the Sussexes' public image.
And the security around the children's situation, who was going on about that. But didn't she fly in from Portugal?
Yeah, and it's still not good enough anyway. And by the way,
security, it's nonsense. And is Birmingham less safe than London? And the whole thing about the security, a number of people on intelligence services say there are no threats.
And of course, really Colombia and Nigeria terrible. Are much more dangerous. Can I just say? Well, and Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah. Come on, I think we've had enough of this sort of boy child, this man child.
Every new report seems to trigger another round of competing interpretations, with supporters and critics reaching very different conclusions from the same events. For now, the biggest question isn't simply what happened during Harry's visit, but whether private royal discussions can realistically remain private once competing narratives begin appearing in the media. As long as new reports continue surfacing from unnamed sources, the debate surrounding Harry, Meghan, and their relationship with the royal family is unlikely to quiet down anytime soon.
They just don't trust them. I mean, Harry to them is like Brooklyn Beckham is to the Beckhams now.
But ultimately, how long will he spend with them? No more than half an hour if it happens. Will Camilla be there? Absolutely not. Will William be there? Absolutely not. Will they meet their cousins? No, they won't. So how much has been repaired here? No.
Many royal commentators believe the biggest surprise about Harry's latest UK visit wasn't what happened, but how little lasting impact it actually had. Despite days of headlines about security, legal battles, and palace meetings, the visit passed relatively quietly compared with other royal events happening at the same time. While Harry attended charity engagements connected to the Invictus Games, much of the public spotlight remained elsewhere, with other members of the royal family continuing their schedules. Some observers argued that despite all the anticipation, the visit never became the major public moment many expected. The security debate, however, continued to dominate discussion. Some commentators argued that there has been no evidence of any significant change in Harry's security situation. They pointed out that if authorities believed a specific threat existed, additional protection would likely have been arranged through existing procedures. Others maintain that Harry's concerns about his family's safety remain genuine, showing once again how divided opinion remains on the issue.
Surely we now have proof that he can fly in and out of the UK, sight unseen, no paparazzi pictures, no security troubles whatsoever. So what's his issue?
Well, I think that'll probably be a big issue for him because they do love a controversy because it boosts their brand, it boosts their numbers. But the reality is, you summed it up brilliantly in that intro, but you know, this has been a fiasco, it's been a circus.
Attention also turned to the timing of Harry's visit. Some royal commentators suggested he was aware that an important court ruling was approaching and questioned whether the palace meeting and other engagements unintentionally shifted attention away from the legal outcome. That remains speculation, but it became another topic of discussion among royal observers. The conversation also revisited Harry's long association with the Invictus Games. While the event continues to receive praise for supporting wounded and recovering service members, some commentators questioned public descriptions of Harry's role in its origins. They noted that similar programs already existed before Invictus was launched, although Harry has undeniably become the public face most closely associated with the Games. Another point of debate involved Harry's wider relationship with British institutions. Critics argued that over the years he has challenged decisions involving the government, the courts and parts of the media, raising concerns about how those disputes affect public perceptions of the monarchy. Supporters, on the other hand, argue that he has simply exercised his legal rights and spoken openly about issues he believes are important. Some commentators also suggested it was significant that Harry did not stay at Buckingham Palace during the visit. They argued that had he publicly criticised official decisions while appearing from a royal residence, it could have created uncomfortable political questions for the palace. Others viewed that possibility as largely hypothetical, but many agreed it was probably better avoided. As the discussion moved on, attention quickly returned to People magazine and the reports published after Harry's meeting with King Charles. Some royal commentators believe the article attempted to present Meghan as someone caught in a difficult situation, rather than someone helping shape the public narrative. Others strongly disagreed with that portrayal.
He's making the point that this leak is Meghan trying to make herself the victim in all of this, somehow.
She always plays the victim, and they were always going to leak it. It was a matter of time. Even I thought it was quite quick. How they've leaked.
They can't help themselves.
Detail. There'll be more detail that comes out about this, and it will all be positive about the Sussexes. I mean, the reality is that's what they're going to do. They're going to leak, and it's inevitable. I mean, it is inevitable.
Attention also turned to reports that Harry was not ultimately accommodated at Buckingham Palace during the visit.
They invited Harry to stay at a royal residence to even respond to let them know whether or not he's staying. It's not a Holiday Inn, It's not a best.
It's Buckingham Palace is where he'll probably
They need
stay.
to know exactly if and when you're coming so that they can prepare. It's utterly disrespectful.
Some royal commentators argued that this helped avoid unnecessary political controversy by keeping official royal residences separate from ongoing public disputes. Others questioned whether the issue was ever as significant as later commentary suggested.
The palace, it's a total joke. They are totally playing into the hands of those who say they court drama to sell Meghan's jab. For the sake of family harmony, the palace would have been perfectly happy with a peaceful and low-key visit, yet once again, they turned it into a soap opera. It is tiresome.
The discussion then returned to Harry's long-running concerns about security. Some critics argued that his latest visit appeared to demonstrate he could travel successfully without major public incidents.
And it's also always been about the protection, the security. Now remember, he gets security. He doesn't not get security, but he wants this like elite security, like the ultimate security, which he's not getting.
They also questioned why security remains such a prominent issue whenever he returns to Britain. Supporters, however, continue to argue that Harry has legitimate concerns based on his personal experiences and should not be criticised for raising them. The debate remains unresolved because neither side has access to all of the security assessments involved. Harry's recent public appearances also attracted criticism from some commentators, who argued he has sometimes struggled to balance light-hearted interviews with the more serious public role many people expect from a senior royal family member. Others disagreed, saying his more relaxed style simply reflects his personality and should not automatically be viewed negatively. As with many aspects of Harry's public image, reactions depended largely on existing opinions about him. Another development that drew attention involved media coverage appearing across multiple publications at roughly the same time. Some royal commentators claimed several articles seemed to place greater responsibility for the ongoing tensions between Prince Harry and Prince William on William rather than Harry.
So both the New York Times and People magazine running on the same day, Jobbo, pieces sort of trying to blame Prince William for this ongoing Cold War between the brothers. And again, I don't think it's a coincidence. Let me just take you through what the reporting is. People magazine writing, Prince William and Prince Harry still have no contact. Despite Harry's reunion with King Charles, there has been no movement on William's side, a source tells People in this week's exclusive cover story. An insider telling the magazine, it's so broken. I thought it would have perhaps eased a little bit by now, to be honest, but there has been no movement, especially on William's side. So do you see what I mean? That the blame very much being put on William. There is no contact. They also say there's absolutely no contact between the next generation, the cousins too.
Critics questioned whether that timing was purely coincidental, while others argued different publications often reach similar conclusions independently when covering major royal stories. Without direct evidence showing coordination between outlets, those claims remain speculative. The continuing disagreement highlights how differently the same events are interpreted, depending on which sources people trust. One group believes Harry and Meghan are regularly attempting to explain their position through trusted publications, while another believes the media is simply reporting information from sources close to the couple. Whatever the explanation, every new article appears to reopen familiar debates surrounding family relationships, media strategy, and the future of the Sussexes' relationship with the royal family. Given the years of tension between Harry and other members of the royal family, they argue a single meeting would be unlikely to resolve every issue overnight. At the same time, some critics suggested practical considerations may also influence efforts to improve family relationships, particularly as King Charles continues carrying out public duties while receiving cancer treatment. Others strongly caution against assigning motives without evidence, noting that private family conversations are exactly that, private. For now, there is still no public indication that the relationship between Harry and William has significantly improved. While Harry's meeting with his father generated headlines, the wider divisions within the family appear at least publicly, to remain unresolved. As long as official information remains limited, much of the conversation will continue to be shaped by anonymous sources, media reports, and competing interpretations rather than confirmed details.
You know, this is a guy that was finally agreed to stay at Buckingham Palace, and luckily the palace pulled that away from him. But he was railing against the independent judiciary, calling it a whitewash, taking on the free press in a way that, frankly, is not really acceptable in a world that we're living in, when we're getting prime ministers coronated without even debate, and also attacking a high court judge, and also suing the government. These are the three pillars, you know, a free press, an independent judiciary, and a government that is elected, that his father, as the king, is there to secure. He stands to, you know, he is there to serve those pillars of the community. Otherwise, there is no point of a monarchy.
As the discussion continued, another topic began attracting attention: the Sussexes' long-term finances. Some royal commentators believe money has become an increasingly important factor behind many of Harry's recent decisions.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's American dream is apparently officially over. Yes, oh yes, the couple are seemingly wanting to come back to the royal family on bended knee and reforge ties in the UK as their deals with Netflix, Spotify, and a variety of other companies dry up, as Hollywood has discovered one simple thing: having a royal title does not make you particularly talented sometimes, especially in the case of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They've had a series of flops in their
They argue that maintaining a high-profile lifestyle, private security, and ongoing legal battles creates enormous financial pressure. Others caution that the couple's private finances are not publicly known, making many claims impossible to verify.
And it's not about the fact.
That court case, and look at the court case, Dan. I mean, you know, the Mao are going to go back to court to get some of that 30 million, maybe more, back. I mean, you know, who's going to pay that? Elton John has just basically allegedly said, well, I'm not getting involved in paying for Harry's bills. So this is Harry really in a big problem financially, I think.
100%. And you've got the 3 million a year in security costs as well. And see, that to me is why I think he's so obsessed about security, Jobbo, as well. It's not about his safety in the UK. I know this because I know people, Jobbo, who have this RAVIC protection. And you know, once you get it, you have to be protected wherever in the world you are. So what it means is that the UK taxpayer would be effectively funding Harry's security.
The big news is that he couldn't afford the bills. A superstar might have to come to his rescue, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, he had this shocking week. Apparently, he's now going to have to rely on pals like Elton John to pay the millions of dollars in legal fees that he now owes. It was a humiliating farce, is what this UK trip has turned into.
Several commentators also speculated about Harry's future relationship with King Charles from a financial perspective. Some suggested Harry may hope to rebuild family ties while his father is still alive, with critics arguing that inheritance could eventually become part of the wider conversation. However, there is no public evidence confirming that financial considerations are influencing Harry's actions, and those claims remain opinions expressed by commentators rather than established facts.
We knew things weren't going well, but to finally have even more confirmation of how badly things are going, even more confirmation of how badly Harry wants back in, just goes to show and prove that Harry and Meghan leaving was a massive mistake, probably led by Meghan, that Harry really didn't consider. And as they get to Hollywood, they're finding out that, well, maybe the industry is interested in you for a couple of moments here and there. But then the industry figured out something. That yes, somebody has a royal title, and yes, that's cool. And yes, maybe you can sell some things on that, but a royal title does not mean Harry and Meghan are producers. It doesn't mean they're authors. It doesn't mean they're actors.
Even so, many observers agree that Harry's legal disputes have likely been expensive. Recent court proceedings have prompted fresh discussion about potential legal costs and whether those battles could continue placing financial pressure on him. While estimates have circulated publicly, the exact amount Harry may ultimately be responsible for remains unclear.
That was humiliating. It could be very costly for Prince Harry.
I mean, a 50 million pounds distributed between 7 people, including Elton John, including Prince Harry, Liz Hurley, some of the other high-profile individuals. They do have insurance, but if on the 400-page judgment where the judge says, I can't find the evidence to support your case, he does say some of these claims, there was a statute of limitations and they shouldn't have been brought to me. The insurance company could look at that and say, your attorneys should have never presented this in the courtroom in the first place, so we're not going to pay out this fee.
On Tuesday, he lost that case and now could face up to 15 million pounds, 20 million US in legal fees. I worry it could be more, but anyway, it's still a lot for Harry because they don't have the money.
It's quite possible that the Daily Mail could now seek revenge on Harry and go after him for more millions because they've been dragged through the mud on this one.
Security expenses also remain a regular topic of debate. Some commentators estimate that private protection for Harry and his family could cost millions each year. Because of that, critics argue his ongoing legal challenge over UK security may also have significant financial implications. Supporters, however, continue to insist the issue is primarily about protecting his family rather than reducing costs. Others have questioned how official security arrangements operate for people receiving state protection. Some royal commentators argue that individuals who qualify for government-funded protection may receive security while travelling internationally as part of those arrangements. Others point out that every case is assessed individually, making direct comparisons difficult. Whatever the exact rules may be, security continues to be one of the central issues in Harry's public disagreements with the UK government. Several commentators also revisited the period when Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties. According to reports published at the time, senior members of the royal family warned Harry that leaving his official role could significantly affect both funding and security arrangements. Some commentators believe those warnings underestimated the challenges that would follow, while others argue Harry accepted those risks in order to pursue a more independent life. Attention then shifted to the couple's commercial ventures after relocating to California. Early partnerships with major media companies generated enormous attention and were widely viewed as a fresh start. However, several of those agreements have since changed or ended, leading commentators to question whether the couple's business plans have matched the expectations many people had when they first stepped away from royal life.
Meghan Markle has gone back to live in California, and she's living the life she probably wanted all along.
Yes.
A life of unparalleled luxury and riches that she got by marrying her handsome British prince.
Critics argue that some of those opportunities have become less reliable over time, while supporters point out that Harry and Meghan continue working on new projects and charitable initiatives. Many royal observers believe this history explains why finances remain such a frequent topic whenever Harry appears in court or returns to Britain. Every legal case, security dispute, or family meeting is now viewed by some commentators through both a personal and financial lens. Whether those interpretations are accurate remains open to debate. What is clear is that questions surrounding security costs, legal expenses, future income, and family relationships continue to shape public discussion almost every time Harry returns to the headlines. Looking back at everything that happened, one thing stands out more than anything else. What was expected to be a quiet family visit quickly turned into another week of headlines, competing narratives, and endless debate. Instead of bringing clear answers, the trip only created more questions about Harry's relationship with the royal family, the ongoing security dispute, and the future of any possible reconciliation. The biggest challenge is that much of the conversation continues to rely on anonymous sources, media reports, and commentary rather than official statements. That makes it difficult to separate confirmed facts from interpretation, which is why every new article seems to generate a completely different version of the same story. At the centre of it all, the relationship between Prince Harry and King Charles appears to remain complicated but open to communication. However, when it comes to Prince William, there is still no clear public evidence that meaningful progress has been made. Whether that changes in the future remains to be seen. Questions surrounding security, legal battles, media strategy, and public image also show no signs of disappearing. Every court decision, every family meeting, and every newspaper report continues to add another chapter to a story that has been unfolding for years. Supporters believe Harry is continuing to stand up for issues that matter to him and his family. Critics argue that many of the same disputes keep resurfacing without bringing lasting solutions. As always, the truth is likely far more complex than any single headline suggests. One thing is certain, the royal family remains one of the most closely watched institutions in the world, and every new development is examined from every possible angle. Whether future meetings help repair relationships or simply create another wave of speculation is something only time will reveal. Now we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Harry's latest visit brought the royal family any closer together, or has it only widened the divide? Let us know your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who follows the royal family, and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into the biggest celebrity stories and royal headlines. And before you go, make sure you click the next video that's appearing on your screen right now. It covers another major celebrity story that's been making headlines, and if you enjoyed this one, there's a good chance you'll want to see what happens next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.